is Daily Blast Live. We're talking about what you're talking about.
You all ready for this?
Mm-hmm.
Dun, 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 dun.
This is a sham.
No.
Y'all, just stop.
Get real.
Welcome. It's Friday at
Yay.
DBL, and I look like a mechanic. That's the joke today.
Yeah.
Going to be a lot of that joke.
You got the Midas touch.
Yeah, sure do. So it's going to be all day.
And also, it's Marquita Baker's pre-birthday.
Oh, all right.
I feel like we've been celebrating her birthday for 3 weeks. Like
I do too.
King Tut or something, but I'm here for it.
That's right. She's
Happy
one of our
birthday,
most
girl.
loyal viewers.
We
That's
love her.
exactly right. All right. Well, today is the day the Academy Board is meeting. They're going to decide what consequences Will Smith is going to face for the Oscars slap. I hate looking at it. Will resigned from the Academy last week, and that's why the meeting is moved up. But reports say members are very split over what to do, and the decision could go down to the wire. Meantime, there's this resurfaced video of Jada and Will that's now going viral today. It was initially filmed by Jada on her Instagram Live back in 2019, and it is raising some interesting questions about their relationship. So let's take a look at it.
Would you say she has been instrumental in you and I redefining our relationship?
I would say don't just start filming me without asking me.
Oh my goodness. I'm still dealing with foolishness.
My social media presence is my bread and butter, okay? So you can't just use me for social media.
Please watch us stare at the red table because she's helped us a lot. Can't you tell?
All right, this is how I feel. We can get into this discussion. Did Will and Jada be put into, because of Jada's red table talk, a sort of very open, emasculating place, right? She let everything out in the open about Will, her relationship, her entanglement affair. And a lot of people are saying that it emasculates Will to a point of no return, right? I also just want to preface this by saying a lot of the times we often blame a black woman at the heart of a lot of things. And I just want to put those 2 points out there. She didn't get up and slap anybody. She didn't do anything. I just want to preface it by saying that because I think it's fair to say. Okay, go ahead.
Well, that's tough to follow.
Yeah.
Well, do you blame Jada?
No, I don't think it has anything to do with race. Well, that's just me.
I don't either.
Okay, so I think it's just
That's fair.
I'm going to talk about their relationship as
Please
people,
do.
not about their. I'm just going to talk about them as people.
Please.
So from that clip, listen, couples get in fights.
Right.
Okay, right? My wife does that to me. She's all about Instagram. She puts a camera in my face sometimes, and I'm like, I'm not having it right now. You know what I mean? I want to just relax. So that I totally relate to that. I don't know that we need to go back and dissect everything that happened because Will Smith assaulted someone at the Oscars, right? But when you break it down, we have some other clips. Does the things going on behind the scenes, which we always say, stay out of people's bedrooms. We're not in your bedroom.
Right.
You put it on the red table
You
for us to
voluntarily,
talk about.
that's right.
So a lot of the things that's going on in their relationships, even though I relate to that, I do not relate to in their relationship. People are like, cool, I think it's cool people have open relationships. I don't think that's cool. I'm a one-woman type of guy. I hope my wife feels the same way. If she doesn't, that's something we need to bring to our own table. But to put your life out there and now they're under the microscope with everything in the past, I don't know if that's necessarily fair.
Right. And Jeff, the only thing I'll disagree with is I don't think that anybody thinks it's cool. That's why nobody does it.
Well, some people.
Kardashians
A lot
do
of
it.
people do, but they curate
Yes,
what they put out.
yes.
There's a reason that you and Jordan curate what you put out. There's a reason that I curate what I put out. Don't put my kids on very often. Because you can't put your whole life on a red table for the whole world to pick apart, especially your super famous celebrity husband that is, I will just say, a vulnerable person. You know, he wears his emotions, his heart on the sleeve, and crying on television a lot, whether it's justified or not. Cry as much as you want. I love crying. But that kind of stuff is going to get memes made about you. It's going to have comics make jokes about you.
For
and
years.
it's going to have Twitter on fire constantly about you. Because you know the thing, dude. It's when it's Jada that's done something embarrassing. She doesn't want to dig all into that. We just called that an entanglement. If one of my daughter's friends, who was 18, moved in the house and I started sleeping with her, Would I get away with that on DBL? Why did she get away with that? And until we address the inherent hypocrisy of how we're looking at this case, we'll just kind of brush it under the rug. But we all know Jada's getting away with stuff that no man ever could.
I just don't think she's a part of this, but maybe I'm wrong.
You don't think she's a part of this? Her sleeping with a 19-year-old singer and then him making...
Did she walk up and slap another person? No, she sat there and did nothing.
I think they're two separate.
Okay.
I'm just saying that Will always has the spotlight on him, but when she's done something egregious, almost predatory, nobody says anything. You go, girl. Thanks for being honest. I wish some dude would say I'm dating an 18-year-old that lived in my house and see how that would go down.
Interesting. All right, well, there's another
Sorry
clip.
I got so passionate.
No, I really like
it.
that.
It's been building up. It's like
I think
we're just living in this world like, good for you.
But if
you did that, if Jeff Schroeder was sleeping with an 18-year-old girl that was a friend of your son in 13 years, how would that be cool?
No, it wouldn't. But I think we don't want to conflate the two. And I hate going back in the past with anybody, not even with them. But I believe it's a powder keg, right? If it was me
Just
to put myself in my shoes, it'd be a powder keg. If my wife was taking a 19-year-old on the red carpet and sleeping with him, and then I have to show up places with them and have people comment, and it has to be part of the reason,
He's
at
also
least
made 2 songs
why
about
he
it
did
as
that.
well.
Right.
It's embarrassing.
Yeah,
right.
there's trauma there.
How often
There's
can you
trauma.
embarrass a human being before you reach a boiling point?
I hear that. Well, take a look. There's another clip we got from Jada's Red Table Talk show that's now getting attention. Will's talking about how he spent 3 years planning Jada's 40th birthday party. It did not go as planned. Take a look.
The day after her 37th birthday, I hired a team to orchestrate her 40th birthday. I was like, well, I'll cancel tomorrow. She was like, it's my birthday. Yeah. Right? And she's told me that the party was the most ridiculous display of my ego.
Woo.
Crushed, right? And to this day, I know I was crushed because it was true. Yeah. And when she called me on that, that's when I snapped.
Okay, so Willow said that's the first time she saw her dad snap. So he had hired a documentary team, Mary J. Blige. He had found her grandmother's recordings. He had put it all together. And she called it his ego that did that. What's your response to that clip?
So again, I don't like going back and dissecting this. I just want to say that, but we have to, right? Because that's what people are talking about. I watched the whole clip. It's about 3, 4, 5 minutes. Go watch it yourself. I didn't understand it, right? I thought maybe I have my own problems to work out. I thought Will was doing something nice for Jada. He got all these old videos of her grandmother, who was a great inspiration in her life. She's never heard them. He put it together for her, got Mary J. Blige to sing, and then it's about him somehow. If I did that for my wife, I would think it's very much about my wife. So I just think they're in this relationship, and again, I'm just going to put myself in the shoes, even though I can't. You ever fall in love with somebody like in high school and they're like way out of your league, maybe, and you're like, I'll do anything to be with that person. But at the time you will, but looking back now with my eyes, I'm like, wow, that was so wrong. Why was I going after that person? But I would have done anything at the time to be with them. That's kind of what I'm getting reminded of.
Yeah, I mean, I watched the clip too, Jeff, and I kept looking for. I wish somebody would have done that.
But maybe she wanted a quiet night with the family. Like, what if that was her
How
wish
many
and
people
he
want
did it
a
for her?
quiet night with the family on their 40th birthday?
We haven't heard from her on that. I'm just saying it's interesting. We think
she did say that.
She wanted probably maybe it was.
But to throw it back on him, is that fair?
I just thought it was a really sweet gesture. I mean, I never really heard. I don't remember what my father's mom sounds like. So I would love something like that, and to have Mary J. Blige or Anderson .Paak come in and sing, or yeah, I'd be fine with that. But it's just a strange dynamic, and we're not in their lives completely. I don't know what's going on with this relationship, but it seems like something led to that.
Yeah, and I would go back if you're really interested in read the memoir that just came out in 2021 that Will wrote. It's about Uncle Fluffy, the guy that pays the bills, and then the sour side.
And don't forget to get your oil changed on a regular basis.
Fifth one's free.
Coming up on DBL, our interview with Mark Wahlberg. You won't believe how much he was in common with Big Jeff, plus how he got the Catholic Church on board with his new movie. And Dr. Coley joins us live. Could your nagging cough be allergies or COVID? Find out next.
Closed captioning provided by
All right. So Doc, I was just thinking, I don't know if we're going to get to this. How's it going? Good.
How are you?
Good. You look great.
You look like you're glowing. Thank you.
Oh, I do? Thank you. I took a steam
Your
this morning.
intermittent fasting is working. Oh,
I am intermittent. How do you know? Did Jordan write that?
No, we talked about it one day.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I stopped eating. So I stopped eating at 5 o'clock. I start eating at like 9, and then I'm done at 5.
That's the easiest way to do it.
Yeah, because I work out, and then I had like a shake, and then I eat a lot. Like when I get home from like 2 to like 4, I eat like 2 meals, big meals, and then I'm done at 5.
But you know, you can also eat all day long, just eat less. So reduce your caloric intake by 50%. That's another way to do intermittent fasting.
Oh, okay.
So you can eat like from the minute you open your eyes to the minute you go to bed, just reduce how much.
Oh, reduce, yeah. This one works for me because my stomach, I'm not even hungry after. But I wanted to get to a question about like allergies we're getting to, right? And I don't know if we're going to get, are these yours?
No.
These are my mints.
Oh, mints.
I don't want coffee.
They're allergy pills or something.
No, I was wondering, should I get an allergy test? I feel like I wake up, I'm always like sniffly, or I got to blow my nose, and I'm like, I have the windows open now, it's getting a little nicer. Do you feel like people should go get an allergy test to see what they're allergic to? Because it changes, right?
It changes with the season, it changes with the weather.
Right.
I got allergy testing done because I decided to do something called immunotherapy, where you actually train your immune system to stop reacting to like trees and pollen and grass.
How do you do that?
Little injections of escalating doses every few weeks, yeah.
Oh,
So
more
that would be
injections, Doc? But yeah, I was just wondering if it was a good idea.
For curiosity. Unless you're planning to treat it with immunotherapy, there's no benefit to allergy testing.
But to know and then be like, oh, maybe I will treat it, you know?
Yeah.
I don't know. Just something I was thinking about. You don't seem
When should you
enthused.
treat it? Like if you feel like it's affecting your life?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I had really bad allergies for a long time. Like I had to take medicines every day, so got injections every few weeks to train my immune system.
And you're good now?
Well, that was when I lived in Boston. Then I moved to there.
Welcome back. Hello.
Hello,
Hi.
guys.
I was saying hi to Dr. Coley.
I know,
Hi, Al.
but you yelled it right at me.
So sorry.
You wanted to go through me to her?
I'm so sorry.
Okay.
Welcome back. All right, here to offer her diagnosis on the headlines people are talking about. We paid Dr. Coley, Dr. Pyle Coley. So, House Speaker Pelosi tested positive for COVID yesterday, and earlier this week she was caught kissing President Biden on the cheek. So, doctor, is this considered close contact? I have to imagine it is.
So according to the CDC, no.
Oh, my bad.
Less than 6 feet, and you need more than 15 minutes. But according to Dr. Coley, Dr. Schulman, and anyone with common sense, yes,
Right.
it is considered close contact because it doesn't really matter that 15 minutes is a made-up number. There's no science around it. It's really the dose of the virus that you got exposed to. So if I come and sneeze on you, within a few seconds, I could probably infect you. So kissing is considered very close contact. My question is, do you guys think she was infected when she kissed him? Because she tested positive on Thursday. She kissed him on Tuesday, and the virus has an incubation period of about 3 days. So it's possible.
I'm getting remnants of high school.
I know. Yeah,
If you're in a train at 9 o'clock and Jamie's on 1 at 2.
should we just kind of get rid of that tradition of kind of kissing on the cheek or even
For right
anything close for
now.
right now? But this is going to kind of lead into my next question. So what do you think?
I think yes, because it's hypocritical to make our kids wear masks in schools, but let our politicians kiss each other on the cheek and have big, big parties. And so I think we all need to play by the same rules.
Let me tell you something. If you do that in my neighborhood, you're disrespecting people. So you really have to watch it.
It's
Yeah.
a cultural
Culturally.
thing.
Yes,
yeah,
yeah.
absolutely. So this is kind of what we're talking about. It looks like we're going to be stuck with COVID forever. But it's also allergy season, as we were talking about in the break. So, how can we be sure if that cough, sneeze is just allergies or, oh no, I have COVID?
We can't, unfortunately, and it's
That's
gotten
not the answer I
harder.
want.
It's gotten harder because, okay, in the beginning, COVID was really bad, right? So you had the fevers, you had the shortness of breath, you had the muscle aches. Now with the Omicron variant, which is milder, and most of us being vaccinated, we're getting mild symptoms. So there's so much more overlap than before. In fact, the other day, I actually woke up. I've been traveling a lot for work. I had a little tickle in my throat, a little bit of a stuffy nose, a little bit of a headache. So what's the first thing that I did?
COVID test. You kissed Biden, is that it? it. Yeah, I did that too. My nose started itching, and it was like an immediate response. I was like, just get it done.
Yeah, so that's really only the best way to know. Now, there are some subtle differences, like a cough with allergies is usually a dry cough, whereas if you've really got COVID, you might be coughing up some phlegm or some sputum. You have itchiness when you have allergies, so itchy eyes, itchy throat, itchy nose, less so with COVID. And then any fever or systemic symptoms like muscle aches or pains, you really don't see those with allergies, but you do with COVID.
Not sputum, Doc.
I know.
All right. Wow. I don't want sputum. Okay, Doc, we have to get to this. I want your take on this optical illusion, okay? So the New York Post is saying that if you see the man running towards you, which I think I do, you have a male brain, okay. But if you see it running away from you, you have a female brain. Is there any truth to these brain teasers like these? Are there really differences between male and female brains?
So I'm seeing him running towards me. So does that mean I have a male brain?
Right. Yeah, I think it's just how you see it.
Is there different brain chemistry between male and female?
Yeah, so let's be careful here, because a long time we've talked about differences in gender and brain, and we've called it actually neurosexism. So there's a whole field that exists out there saying that there's bias in the literature, saying there are differences between men and women. But the truth of the matter is, guys, there are anatomical, behavioral, and cognitive differences between men and women's brains. So let me tell you that men's brains are bigger. Just because they're bigger. Women's brains talk better.
Yeah, we're out of time, actually, Doc. Yeah, so that's perfect.
Harvard.
I'm not going to lie with the doctor.
Yeah. MIT and Harvard.
I mean, did I say lie?
Oh, God.
Agree.
The worst.
You'll
tell us more.
Maybe that's not true.
In the break, yeah. They're bigger, not necessarily the size doesn't matter. Thank you, doctor. If you have a question you'd like to ask Dr. Coley, write it to us on social media or info@dailyblastlive.com. We'll be right back with Mark Wahlberg.
I don't think he likes it.
I don't think he likes it.
Oh, Mark Wahlberg.
There you go.
Suffer from pain?
If you wanted to buy a house, rent an apartment, get a loan, or so let's verify. Were credit scores, as we know them today, invented in 1989? Our sources are financial data company FICO, credit reporting bureau Equifax, the Fair Credit Reporting Act, the Equal Credit Opportunity Act, and financial management education blogs OpU and badcredit.org. The first credit bureaus opened in the mid-1800s, but they didn't use the scoring system we have today. Instead, badcredit.org says their standards varied widely. Some use subjective character judgments and biases, like a person's race, gender, and marital status. There also wasn't a universal system. So, for example, there'd be one score for mortgages, another for auto, and a separate one for personal loans. In the 1970s, Congress passed 2 laws to prevent discrimination and make credit reporting data more accessible. In 1989, FICO created an algorithm for a universal score that ranges from 300 to 850 based on the likelihood that you'd repay any type of loan. A FICO employee blog post citing agencies. So, yes, credit scores as we know them today were invented in 1989.
Welcome back. Our next guest needs no introduction, even though I'm about to introduce him. Earlier, we sat down for an intimate interview with Mark Wahlberg. He talked to us all about his newest passion project, Father Stew, and how he gained over 30 pounds for the role. Want to know if he'll ever do it again? Well, take a look.
I thought it makes sense being back here to do this.
Your son is about to make a huge mistake.
Well, I'm gonna be a priest.
For Halloween.
Mark, what a story, a true story. I feel like now more than ever, everybody needs to hear this. What drew you to this story, and why did you personally want to be a part of it?
You know, I had heard the story on a number of occasions, and one time when my parish priest was pitching me this movie, it just registered. And then I realized, oh my God, I couldn't find a single reason not to want to be a part of it. My own selfish reasons as an actor, my looking for and desiring to find new ways to give back and share all the wonderful things that my faith has done for me and encourage people to pursue their own, wanting just to do more God's work, knowing that all of this success that I've had, and all both personally and professionally, was not to just kind of go off and live happily ever after. It was to kind of go back and to do more and to be challenged. And it's so much more meaningful and so much more fulfilling. And the movie, the response has been overwhelming. I mean, everybody is touched by it in their own personal way. I know we're dealing with COVID and we're in uncharted waters, and we're all in it together. And the difficult things are much easier to deal with, you know, God in your life, for sure.
Amen. Man, you and Jeff over here are like
two peas in a pod.
It's not like we have the same birthday mark or anything.
You do?
Yeah, we do.
Oh.
June 5th, buddy.
Oh,
Rocket
really?
Star.
That makes so much sense.
Yeah.
Mark did not know that.
He did not know
And
that.
am I also hearing a bit of a Boston accent there?
Chicago.
I love Chicago too. We have a lot in common there.
Well, we're going to have some more in common. I was raised Catholic, Mark. I'm a faith-based family man, as I know you are. But there's some shame. We do this show every day. There's some shame surrounding the Catholic community. Are you trying to shine a positive light on Catholics or Catholicism through this film?
I ain't giving up on you. Don't you dare go giving up on yourself.
Hear the trumpets, hear the pipers.
Whatever was going on with the church needed to be addressed.
Right.
It needed to be addressed a long time ago. But the big reminder here is this is not so much about the church. It's about the guy who died to build it. Everybody else is human. We're all weak. We all make mistakes. I think the archdiocese and other people were surprised. Anytime you're making a movie about the church, they just assume that it's some sort of negative sort of thing. And so when they read the script initially, there was some harsh language in the first couple pages, so they did not support the film. Now, having seen the film, they are supporting it and giving us the most glowing reviews. But, you know, look, we are all about change. We're all about inclusion, bringing everybody together. And most importantly, we are not the judge. So we need to give people the benefit of the doubt. We need to love people, accept people, and empower people to be the best versions of themselves.
Well, Mark, we've seen your posts on Instagram, and I'm sure you're getting a lot of questions about how you had to gain weight for Father's Day and then lose it. Is this something that you think you'll ever do again for a movie?
It takes discipline.
Yeah, how much stress is it on your body?
That is a very good question. You're not supposed to do it at my age, I will admit. I'm 50 years old. I'm definitely into the third quarter, maybe even looking at the fourth.
No.
Golly, God knows. But that being said, it takes a lot of discipline. And it wasn't like I just did it as an actor to say, well, if somebody gained 25 pounds in 2 months, I gained 30 in a month and a half. It was really just about Stu's journey. And when he got sick and his physicality started to deteriorate, his spirituality soared. And it was such a part of the arc of the character and the journey to showcase that what IBM can do to people, but how he handled it with such grace and dignity at the same time. So I would not want to do it again. To answer your question, it was very difficult. I'd lose weight is a lot easier, only because, you know, that's just a mental challenge. You just say no, you just be disciplined. But to eat when you're already stuffed and have to more and just continue to stuff it in, that's a physical challenge that is only for the Cody Chestnuts of the world. That's not is not for me.
Well, Mark, congratulations. I would say to our viewers, this is a must-see movie. Thank you so much, Mark. DBL Nation, do not miss the premiere of Father's Day exclusively in movie theaters on April 13th. We'll be right back. Thank you so much.
Thank you, guys. God bless you. I appreciate it.
You too.
Bye, guys.
Promotional consideration is brought to you by
Patton's soul food is slammed. A former Atlanta housewife is squashing beef with a sitcom star, and Monique is making her way back to Hollywood in this week's What Erica's Watching. Now, first, people are calling Paula Patton a hot mess when it comes to frying chicken. She shared her mom's special recipe, and I do mean special. She's seasoning the chicken in hot grease.
I start to dust it with the Lari salt. Right? That's a good color. All right. So now we repeat.
Now, Paula says that she's open to other people's recipes, but I suggest she keep her family's secrets. You know better, Paula. Next, Cynthia Bailey has made up with a former castmate who's not a housewife. She and Todd Bridges were housemates on Celebrity Big Brother. However, the two stars fell out after Cynthia voted for fellow Bravo housewife Teddy Mellencamp instead of him.
With all due respect, in the street, you cut my throat, I cut yours.
And all due respect, in the street, honor your word.
Now, all is good in the hood. Now, Cynthia recently posted this pic with Todd. And she also told Andy Cohen this.
It looked like you worked it out, though, right?
We did. We worked it out in the end. I apologized. He apologized. And, you know, he's my brother now. He's like my spades buddy. And we're good.
Housewives know how to stab backs for more camera time. That's why Cynthia made it to the finale and finished in 3rd place. But good luck with that spades game. Well, Fitty might just have worked his magic stick. He promised to get Monique uncanceled from Hollywood with or without an apology from Precious director Lee Daniels, or Oprah, who she says blacklisted her. However, the 13-year-old feud between Monique and the director behind her Oscar has come to a peaceful end. Here's his apology.
I am so sorry for hurting you in any way that I did. Y'all, she was my best friend. My best friend. Y'all think that Precious was just... That was God working through both of us.
Now, isn't that precious? Things are moving awfully fast. Monique has already been cast in his latest project, Demon House. Share with me anything that catches your eye by using the hashtag DBL Erica Watch. We'll be right back.
This April, connect with Al, Tori, Erica, Jeff, and Sam. Oh my gosh, I love it. Dynamic discussions.
You pick and choose your freedom of speech.
Can I finish? Passionate emotions.
Let's start putting our money where our mouth is.
Get real.
And bringing all the fun.
In the words of Al Jackson, this is bananagrams.
Real conversations are on DBL. I love this story.
That's why you watch every show.
DBL, all new every day.
Welcome back. Gas prices might be soaring, but don't let that stop you from hitting the road. That's today's Auto Alert, sponsored by Ox Car Care. I look like a mechanic. We get it. Experts say if your trip is under 800 miles,
or yourself,
or me with more than 2 people, it's actually less expensive to drive versus fly. Next, 50 miles per hour is the magic number. That's because for most cars, fuel economy peaks around 50 miles per hour, giving you the biggest bang for your buck. Last, pack your own food. Stock up on food and drinks and throw it in a cooler. It'll save you money by making sure you don't drive out of the way to find restaurants. Ox Car Care is dedicated to providing you with an amazing auto protection plan experience that works with your budget. If you're looking for better car care, give them a call at 1-800-211-3448, or I've got business cards in my denim jumpsuit.
I like hearing, you know, seriously, we have Dr. Coley on here. I like hearing from an expert, so thank you, Tori.
Yeah, I mean, you really did come through for us. And what do you think about the tips that we got? Any that you would share?
A regular oil change is always good.
Yeah, look at your muffler. Just make sure I can get in there and see if there's some oil stains.
Listen, there's no price.
You just tell she put all the car words she knew in one sentence.
And she heard, and I said muffler joke earlier. She just said
check
muffler.
that wiper fluid. I got it. All right, DBL's new every day. We'll see you Monday. Be safe, y'all. Have a wonderful weekend.